All right, welcome in, collective, to another reading. What we're gonna try and do is do a reading in also one of the classes. We're gonna try that and see how that works. Hopefully, we can keep that schedule pretty solid. But if not, whatever. Welcome in though, Rahubat, Grand Rising. Hopefully, you are feeling well and highly blessed. Let's jump into the reading today and see what the divine has in store for y'all. So, Spirit, what's going on? The first card is the Emperor Reverse. Now, with this being the first card, I kind of get the energy of taking control. There's something that is overwhelming, or maybe you just need to take more control over. This could be a leadership position that you're not feeling able to do. This could be a business that you're trying to run that you feel underqualified for, but it's giving very beginner energy. Like you're doing something new and you're unsure about how it's going to work. Um, this could even be something in your life where you're on a new chapter of your life and things feel chaotic. And you're unsure of how to move forward, even with the chariot coming out as well. It's something about not feeling prepared or not feeling equipped properly to move forward, despite you already being in the position to move forward. So paying attention to that, there's something that needs to be nurtured. And with the Five of Wands, this is your Saturn test. This is for some of you, this is literally not having some form of resource. And the divine is saying you can do it without that, and you're not able to push through. Whatever the case is definitely your test. This is you being put to the test. Are you going to succumb to older ways, which the Emperor Reverse would really signify in this, or are you able and ready to move forward into something a bit more beneficial for who you are, or who you're becoming? Truly, not really becoming, but who you're tapping into. This could also be a needing to focus more on your responsibilities. So you could have a bunch of things coming at you at once, especially with the Chariot and the Five of Wands. Like there's could be a lot of things coming towards you at once, and you're needing to spend time doing other things rather than your comfort things, right? So it's like you need to go like outside. You need to go to the store or something, right? But you're used to just like door dashing or getting it delivered to you, right? You're used to doing that, but you need to go out so you can save money. This is just a really basic example, I know, but that's this is what the energy's feeling like, example wise. And it's like you need to make that decision to get up and do something differently. This could be even the divine trying to tell you, hey, get up and do something. With the Emperor Reverse and the Chariot, it's like there's a lack of action that needs to be put into action. That's kind of this whole challenge, like stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe you don't like being in public a lot, but you're also someone that believes or knows, depending on who you are, that you're supposed to be here to help people. Well, you're not really sharing your vibration as much as you think you are by sitting in one location. So this could even be the divine telling you to get up and move somewhere, to actually go out and place your energy in certain pockets, because as the conscious collective say, it's time for the healers to rise, when in actuality, it's time for those who have chosen the path. It's time for the ones that are the chosen, which the chosen are the ones that have been called to action and then also go forward with those actions. The chosen one doesn't sit still in confusion. That's not a chosen one, because you haven't chose yet to do those things. You're just still in limbo. You're still in the waiting room. Those that are actually in positions to go out and do actionary things, excuse me, and actually put the energy out in the physical realm and within the matrix, which is supposed to happen and what you're supposed to be doing, so that you spread your energy out and actually affects people rather than just sitting in one location or doing it online. However, when you start stepping into that, this could be also what the divine trying to tell you is it's time to get up and move. It's time to get up and actually go back out into the world. And maybe you're still not able to go out into the world due to some form of lack of healing or fear, and that's why this Emperor's in reverse. You're not taking as much control. Your masculine energy is very passive, very submissive, and your feminine energy is overly dominant, because now you feel like you need more nourishment before you can go out and step out, when in actuality that's what you were supposed to be doing this whole time during the break. And now it's time to gather up and connect with people again. And this could be something that you're not wanting to do. Maybe you've just had bad experiences in the past or however, but again, that's up for you to control your energy and know where you stand on things. Don't have such a shaky foundation, you know? Because again, when your masculine energy is in reverse, when the Emperor's in reverse, it's a lot of your actions are unstable. You're not sure what to do. You're not sure of what actions to take. You're not sure of how to operate correctly. You're very cattywonky. You're all over the place when it comes to your masculine energy. So pay attention to that. Where's the instability coming from? What areas in your life or around you are causing you to not focus on the full spectrum of work that you have? What inside of you is still struggling to multitask in the way that you're wanting to? Are you spending too much time with entertainment? Are you spending too much time wasting energy? Are you spending too much time indulging in energy that isn't helpful for you? All these things are super important for you to be asking yourself and be moving forward with. And a lot of people don't want to, and I always say a lot of people, but we're talking about the entire group. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people do at the same time. It's just how it is, right? But people don't usually like to hear that, because they've been pushed in this box that they've now defined as a comfort zone, because they're comfortable with playing that energy of, oh, I'm being under attack and I can't move. You've grown comfortable in that energy and you need to step out of it. And the reason why I say you're comfortable in it is because you've yet to move out of that energy, because the movement is what's making you uncomfortable, away from your comfort. So you've grown comfortable in the energy. You might not be willing to admit it. You might not be consciously aware of it, but I'm here to break the news to you that a lot of people are comfortable in that energy of being a victim, or comfortable in the energy of being attacked, because it gives them permission to not do things that they're needing to do, right? And this is that whole psychological breakdown, what's going on when it comes down to these things, which again, people don't really talk about, most likely because they don't overstand it that way. Luckily, the divine has definitely informed a lot of people on these things, myself being included, and we get to come out and talk about it because, well, if we're going to heal, we need to move forward. And especially if you're going to choose the title of being a chosen one, why haven't you chose yourself yet? You know what I mean? Like, you're already here, you already have a form of plan, and if you don't have a plan, you need to form one. But regardless, if you're a chosen one, but you haven't yet chose your mission and are actively doing it or know how to, then you're not as chosen as you think, just because of how it sounds, how it rings, right? This is what you really have to be cautious of. This is what you have to be really aware of. If you're out studying a lot to figure out what to do and what to speak about and all these things, then good, you're on the right path. But if you're still in the energy of, oh, I can't do this because X, Y, and Z, then you're ignoring the call that you were so chosen for, right? And this is just the truth of it. This isn't being laid out flat, because we need to start talking about it. We can't be so in this feminine energy. And this is the whole conundrum. This is the back and forth seesaw effect. This is a wormhole effect, whatever you want to call it, right? The collective has been drained so much of its feminine energy. I'm going to say the collective for blatant terms, okay, obviously, right? So it's been drained of its feminine energy for so long that now when you're in the masculine energy, right? We're in not only the age of Aquarius, which is I believe it's a masculine energy, but we're in Mars, which is masculine energy. There's a lot of work, a lot of effort. That nourishing energy is gone. And it has a lot to do with the weather too. When temperatures drop and things get slower, you tend to recluse back in. It's just how nature is. We are all connected with that in that sense as well. But understand that this is your feminine energy becoming a toxic feminine energy, to where now you're feeling like external things need to work for you because you've already output that work. unfortunately, you need, I'm going to say unfortunately because people don't like to hear it, obviously. It's very fortunate, it's very needed, but I'm going to say unfortunate due to the situation at hand that we're talking about, right? It's unfortunate because people think like, oh, I've done so much work already, why do I need to go out and do more? Because if you don't do work, how do you expect it to come back to you? Yes, you're doing the healing work and the spiritual work, but the reward for doing that is making things easier on the physical for you. So you don't have to work as hard as you used to. Yes, you still have to put in that hard work, but it's less crunch time. It's less stress. It's less deterrent on the mental, on the emotional, physical, spiritual, right? And this is what the divine wants you to know. This is what the divine wants you to move in and step towards, because we've been stuck in this energy. I'm going to say we because it's collective energy, however, but you've been stuck so much in the feminine energy of resting, of relaxing, of having things come towards you, that now you're reliant on something to just come into you magically when you're not putting anything out there to allow that to come towards you, whether it's your voice, whether it's you actually going out and doing something, whether it's you asking, that's using your voice, but you know what I mean. Regardless, there's an action that needs to be taken so that you can move forward. And this is that big challenge, because it's okay to admit that you like being lazy, or that you like relaxing, or you like the feminine energy of just reclusing back in, and you've grown used to it because of how drained it's been, right? But now the masculine energy is lacking that nourishment, the work behind it. So now there's no work actually being done. And this is the balance that you need to get. And this is the seesaw effect. This is like a lot of what I was talking about for months ago, because this is what's going to be popping up this for like almost half this year. And then after the half the year, it's going to be go time and flying off. So really take this month to get these things grounded in. But this is what needs to happen, because again, temperance reverse is an imbalance. There's a lack of actual moving with the divine. There's just an over knowing of what the divine wants you to do, but there's no actual movement towards it, which is causing this issue. It's causing this stagnancy. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords reverse, there is this energy of needing to wait and observe your thoughts. It's like there's something on the physical that you're trying to beat in, or you're wanting something on the physical to move faster, and it's due to some form of misconstrued thoughts, where these thoughts are running rampant. So it's like, oh, I can't go out. If I go outside, I'll be attacked or gang stalked. Well, why do you think that way? You're not feeling it. You're thinking it, which is creating an emotional response, which is fear, which is keeping you from doing the things that you need to do. Why are you not combating that fear? Why are you allowing that fear to nurture you? Which is, again, this toxic feminine energy of just allowing any sort of energy to come in and nurture you. This is the same energy as being in a toxic relationship where the masculine is verbally, physically, emotionally, I said emotionally, mentally or spiritually abusive towards you, and then you just stick in because, oh, if this is what I'm going to get, it's what I'm going to get. This is what you need to be careful of, because this is the energy that is appearing right now. So just be aware of that. What is actually keeping you from combating that fear? Be honest with yourself. Why are you scared if you believe or think that you're protected, or even know that you're protected? Why is that fear still there ruling you? If you know who you are and you truly knew who you were, you wouldn't be as scared to actually step out and do the things that you're required to do, because what you understand and what you would overstand and understand completely is that the energy around you that is being projected isn't always voluntarily projected. It's not always being projected on purpose. Sometimes you just pick up on people's energy because you're so used to picking up on energy and so in survival mode that you interfere and indulge other people's energy instead of focusing on what you desire to do, due to you feeling like you're under attack. So now you have to scan everyone, when that's intrusion on energy. That's intrusion on personal on people. It's the same thing that happened to you that now you're doing to other people, just because you're in that state of fear. So you need to step back from that and really observe your own actions. And this is part of the healing that people don't like talking about. People like we'll talk about healing it on there within that series, definitely. but being very aware and cautious of how you're responding to your environments at this time. Environments being, on all planes. So you see what's going on. The Seven of Cups reverse, because it's almost like you choose something too quick. With the Seven of Cups reverse, the Seven of Cups upright is talking about waiting. It's about your emotions being stopped. With the Seven of Cups reverse, you've chose something already and you've ran with it because it seems like a good idea, or in this scenario, it's a cop out. And we have to talk about it how it is, because, well, if you don't talk about it how it is, how are you going to heal from it? We need to address the actual problem. You wouldn't want to go to a doctor and you break, let's say you break your arm and the bone is sticking out, right? But you're not looking at it because it's like, I'm too scared to look at it. Doc, how bad is it? And they go, it's just what is it called, a splint, with the bone, like, it's just a little fracture, there's nothing to worry about, like, you'll be fine. And then you look and see how bad it is and you faint, right? It's giving that energy. So you have to be honest with yourself. And this is why a lot of this is literally why I talk about it so much, because I if we're here to help people heal, why are we not helping them heal? Why are we all patting everyone on the shoulders and stuff? And yes, we need that, but you also need to hear the truth, because if you just keep softening yourself up and indulging in that feminine energy, guess what's going to happen in the next reincarnation that you have? Now your masculine energy is going to be fucked up. Now everyone's going to be lazy, not wanting to work. Now everyone's going to be sitting around not doing anything. And unfortunately, let me just let you on a little secret. People who are afraid of robots taking the jobs and stuff, where do you think this cycle is going to lead to? Think about it. It's right there. Once you're too afraid to leave the house because everything's all crazy, they don't need you to go in anymore. They just hire something that doesn't have fear programmed into it to take over. And that's to realize that's the actual energy that's popping up for that type of timeline to kind of occur, not to strike fear, just to tell you the process that has to happen for something like that thing to go on, right? Why do you think after the whole COVID scare that we had, there have been so many like robotic AI computer employees and stuff? Because people are afraid to leave. And then now we have all these other illnesses coming around because people just can't pay attention to viruses when they're being talked about. I forgot which one's out, but it's been talked about for like years and it's coming out again. But just being very aware of that, not stepping so much into your feminine energy, because it's time for action and people don't like taking action because they're like, I'm going to wait on God. Okay, well then you're going to be waiting forever. Like, really, you will be waiting forever. You need to take a form of action. This is what people don't want you to tell you, because they want you to be stuck within this faith energy. But it's happening for a lot of spirituality, which is kind of funny, is the people that stepped away from religion to for spirituality are now making spirituality religious by putting in faith, because faith is a religious thing, not a spiritual thing. When spirituality happens, it's the truth. When religion happens, it's fiction. And this is why you gotta watch out who you subscribe to as a spiritual leader, because a lot of people will just tell you buzzwords that make you feel good because they want to feel good too, instead of facing the actual cold hard facts of what's going on. And this is why I stand so strongly with Nuwapu, because it's literally the facts. It's undisputable. It's what it is. It uses the exacts. There's no room for speculation unless you're unwilling to accept. And when it comes down to things, the lack of things coming into your life is due to a lack of acceptance. And that stems all the way back to where you don't feel deserving of anything. Because when you don't feel deserving of anything, you won't accept it. So when you don't feel like you're deserving of healing, or feeling deserving of having your peace or having your comfort, you then stray further and further away from the truth, because the truth is what will make you free, not set you free. People like to say the truth will set you free. Well, the truth is out there and a lot of people reject it. So it's not setting anyone free. You have to accept it to make you free. You can look into scriptures. It doesn't say the truth will set you free. It says the truth will make you free. It's the fact that people have literally misconstrued and took their own opinions and shoved it all over everything for so long that it's fucked up everything. Overstand, this is your problem, that has overly occurred constantly throughout time, and you're only making it worse by ignoring the truth of situations, the facts of it. And it comes for, it might take lifetimes for your soul to really grasp that. And that's okay. But we can't focus on that energy forever, because there's already thousands of other people, damn near a million of them, who are already focused on that. So we don't need to indulge in that anymore. For the ones that are actually truly ready to move on and go to different heights, welcome in. For those that are trying to walk that path, I salute you. It's not easy. Trust me. We're on it together. Whether we're further or behind, it doesn't matter. We're all walking up the same mountain. We're good. We're together. So just understand that. But just know that, really, and I always say this because it's the truth. If you are sticking here with this channel, you are maturing, you are growing, you are healing, you are doing your best to evolve. You're not sticking back in the past. You're not allowing the past to hold you back, which is pushing you into a maturity, which is making you grow up and evolve. It's causing your soul to grow and mature, which is why it came here in the first place. So I salute you, because it's not for everyone. Hence, many are called, few are chosen. Anyway, back to the reading. We have to talk about these things, though, because no one else really wants to. Everyone else wants to play this weird game where they cover up their eyes and act like they know what they're doing. And I'm for me personally, I'm sick and tired of it. There's a lot of other people who are sick and tired of it too. But YouTube has become so polluted with this type of mindset, unfortunately, when it comes within the spiritual community, that the ones that could actually help this platform tend to stray away from it, because it's a lot of work, because it's at ground zero, which is why I'm here, which is why I could go into a whole thing about why I did what I did the way I did it, because it's all a divine plan. You can't just sneak into the enemy's lair. You can't just barge open the door in the enemy's lair and be like, "Hi, I'm here." You have to sneak in, right? That's part of the divine plan. I'm a divine plant, is what you can say. Just has the same thing as CIA and the FBI have plants. The divine has plants too. The same thing as the Illuminati is dark and evil. There are also the Illuminati who are there for the good. You can think of me as a plant sent from God, from Anu, from L, from Allah, to come here on this platform to help people grow and leave that weird toxic cycle that has been occurring here. Because who else is talking about it? Who else is actually doing that deep diving work and really grasping it on those levels? Who's actually, you know what I mean? And it's not, it's just the truth. And we have to talk about it, because it's concerning. At least for me, it's very concerning to see so many repetitive messages. It's like a news station at this point. You know what I mean? When that's not what it needs to be. It needs to be more flushed, more flourished, more expansive. And that doesn't mean doing pick a card readings and stuff of that nature, though that can be very fun and cute, which is fine. It needs to be more expansive in the sense of, what area are you going to focus on? Because we'll talk about it at some other date. I have to make a whole ass video about it, because this will literally be like a 3-hour long reading if I keep talking about it. Okay, so let's move on. But there's so much that really needs to be talked about when it comes to these things, that people just don't talk about. Maybe I really don't, I don't put blame on anything. Some people just genuinely are not aware of how to talk about it. Some people know they have to talk about it, but just are afraid to. It's a challenge. It's some people just aren't chosen to do so. It's fine. But welcome. Just welcome down the path. That's all I really have to say. But the Ace of Cups is about emotional nourishment from the divine. It's about loving yourself. It's about truly allowing the divine to wash out the gunk and fill up your cup with pure water that's going to help you. Nourishment, truth, education, knowledge, wisdom. This is what's going on. And with the Seven of Cups reverse, where you're jumping into fear, you're needing to wash out your emotional baggage, right? You know, when people say you got a lot on, like your chest gets heavy, like you have a lot on your chest, like you let whatever you have on your chest off, it's because you're literally holding that emotional, communication there, from your solar plexus to your heart, there is a like right in the middle, there's a little, imagine there being a pouch there, right? Because your brain is in your stomach, your heart, and as well as up here you have three brains, right? This is literally a right side of a brain and a left side of a brain put together, mashed together. So we literally have, well, we have two brains up here technically, but one half of each, so it equals one basically, right? But then you have your heart and your solar plexus. So your solar plexus and your heart, they meet about halfway. There's a little bag, imagine just a little bag there, and this is your emotional baggage. This is why your chest area gets so constricted. This is why it affects all the way around to your back, to your shoulders when you get these emotional issues. This is why when you have emotional issues, some people get the runs, what they call it. You know, their stomach starts getting bad. They get stomach ulcers because, well, your stomach regulates your emotions due to the acidic level that it has in it. And if you're high up on stress, which causes adrenaline, which causes your body to overact, it will make your gallbladder, which, funny enough, I had mine removed, but it causes your gallbladder to overproduce acid that then overcorrodes your stomach, and then that sends your mental and emotional stability out of whack. This is the science behind it. This is full on truth. You can look it up. You don't have to believe me, but you're talking to someone that's literally had their gallbladder removed from having stress-induced seizures for half their life. And then after their gallbladder being removed, having stress, don't get your gallbladder removed. I'm not telling you how to get your gallbladder removed, but I am telling you to figure out how to handle stress better, because whenever I couldn't handle my stress, I had to get something removed out of me, which isn't always healthy. And now I don't have any, it causes so much complications. It really does. So, like, if you have your gallbladder removed, it does reduce stress levels a little bit. It reduces the pain, the inflammation in your stomach, but it also can increase stomach ulcers because, well, you don't really have a regulator for your stomach acid anymore. It just kind of drips in whenever it pleases, right? But this is what you're needing to do, is really see that fear, to see what's going on, or at least what's on your chest, being honest, speaking your mind. This is why these things are so important. This is why I always say be honest with yourself, just talk to yourself, because bottling it in is only going to damage and corrode your insides. That's all it's going to do. And it affects so much more. It affects your liver, because guess what? Your liver has to digest toxins. So what has happened with all that toxicity that you're bottling up? Well, that sends your liver in the overdrive, because that's part of your digestive system. And you don't just digest food, you digest everything you see, because if you didn't digest it, you wouldn't be able to break it down into what it actually is. This is why you see colors. This is why your senses work, because it's being broke down from the energetic state of the invisible into the physical state of reality, of actuality, of the physical plane, right? That's why it's being digested. If you didn't have your receptors the right way, like let's say you were blind, right? There's a receptor that's not working to let you digest sight. So you're unable to take in the vibrations that would allow you to see, because there's some sort of miscommunication within there that's not digesting correctly. It's not going through the system properly, which is causing that blindness. And where does that come from? It comes from your stomach. And that's the truth. Every disease is caused by mucus, and every sort of mental, emotional disease comes from, or like issue, I can't say that other word, comes from your stomach. So if you remove mucus, which also comes from what you eat, so watching what you eat, like it's really that simple. If people just took care of their gut more, they would have no issues. That's really as simple as it is. But people don't take care of their stomach, which is unfortunate. And it's hard to when we're constantly like being poisoned and stuff, but you can still watch what you eat. You can still do a better job of watching what you can eat, because even though there's majority polluted foods within the markets and stuff, you can do that due diligence of looking for the healthier brands, of looking for things with less ingredients. Yes, even though they're going to have different ingredients, maybe the less ingredients, the less toxicity involved in it, right? Simple enough said. But we're here to teach, and we're here to help y'all understand these things so that you're no longer stuck in this weird cycle of XYZ. So again, like even looking up Dr. Sebi will help you as well. That's usually where I get most of my information, is from Dr. Sebi or Malachi, and then like understanding it, digesting it, comparing it to my standards, even comparing it to other people's stories and all these things. It's what I do. Like I like doing it, right? It's what I'm here to do. But we have the hangman reverse. So there's something that you're not letting go. And again, this is about releasing. There's something that you're not releasing. And it may be because you feel like it's too hard. Like it might be trauma that's really been balled up for a minute. And it's like, how do I release this without everything coming out at once? Well, sometimes you have to let everything out at once, right? Sometimes that's just what you have to go through. And I'll explain why. Sometimes you have to go through it because you need to learn why not to ball things up so much. You need to learn why you shouldn't keep emotions in so much, or why you shouldn't keep thoughts or ideals in so much. You need to learn how to release them. And the only way to learn is by an example. And unfortunately, because we hate it so much as people, trust me, I went through that phase as well. You hate being the example of your own downfalls. You hate being the example of doing of seeing what you've done already. Some people are at that phase, other people aren't, but I'm talking to the ones that are at that phase. Like, I don't want to deal with all of it because it's too much. Understandable. I've done it before too. But you have to if you want to heal. If you want to release that tension, that pressure, then you have to, right? You have to learn how to release. It's the same thing as like holding things in, like gas within your body, holding that in, or refusing to go to the bathroom and stuff, how that hurts the system. It clogs up your system. That same thing that happens with the digestive tract happens with the emotional and everything, all those tracts, right? So just releasing what needs to be released. And sometimes it all has to come out at once because it's been balled up so much that once you take the cork off, everything comes out. And that's why you have to cry so much. And that's why some people even get sick and start throwing up and all these things, because it's literally you detoxing your body because you've held in so much toxicity, so much toxins, so much poison to your system that you have to release it some way. I've met people, family members even, who whenever they get stressed out, they get diarrhea because they have to release that stress somehow because they're balling it all up and they don't know how to express it that well. They do that. Some people throw up during high stress situations. Some people sweat a lot. Sweat is really the natural cause of adrenaline, though. The detox, everything detox. When you cry, you're detoxing. When you're snotting all over the place, you're detoxing. When you're hacking up mucus, you're detoxing. All of these things, when you're letting off body odor, that's detoxing as well. That's why it smells so bad, because you're literally releasing the toxic fumes and waste from your body within a gaseous form instead of a liquid form or a solid form. You see how we remove these things from our body? We need to focus on those things more. Don't shame yourself for crying. This is why whenever people say, I don't cry, I don't need to cry. Yes, you do. The fact that you're saying you don't need to cry is just you saying that crying makes you uncomfortable. I used to be there. You need to. If you don't know how to cry, it's because you've been so used to balling up your emotions, and there's a receptor that's not working. There's a lack of emotional response. And it's what happens when you're raised within families who have sociopathic tendencies, where they are less adaptive to your emotional care. So then you become more shallow, more closed off to your own emotions. And instead of being sociopathic externally due to how you've seen how it makes people look, which is not narcissistic, it's sociopath. It's these things, right? Because you internalize it, you see how it looks, and instead of externalizing it, you keep it internalized, and then you do it to yourself instead, right? Or you silently judge other people, however it is, because some people do that as well. Same thing for psychopaths. When you see that lack of mental control, that lack of, seeing, the lack of mental clarity even coming from external points of views, you then sometimes will not extrude it externally because you see how that looks, and then internalize it on yourself, which is a lack of trusting your own thought process, a lack of trusting yourself. It's a spectrum. It falls on these categories. This is why people need to stop using the term narcissist so much, because it doesn't fit those categories at all. It can be compared for sure, but it's a blanket term, and it's sadly become a blanket term whenever it's a word that stands on its own, as every word invented stands on its own. But now we've grown so dull and dumb, honestly. We've regressed so much. Instead of progressed, we've regressed and congressed so much that we literally are unable to use terms. We use blanket terms now. We use coverings. We use falsified words because we're unable to know or digest the actual information we've been lied to for so long. And you need to brainwash yourself, which is cleaning your brain, washing your brain, because your brain is dirty, brain dirtied, right? And you don't need to break these words down. I'm serious. It's there for you. There, it's right in front of your face. And this is something that it's like, and I don't mean that in a rude way. That's just the full on truth. It's literally in front of your face. It's there, but people overlook it because they look at brainwash. What does that mean? And then they hear, oh, it means they've been controlled, or because the media tells you something, right? It's whenever they wash your brain, they cleanse it of what it knows. And then what happens when something's clean? It can get dirty again. How does it get dirty? I'll let you do that breakdown yourself. But we have the Queen of Wands, and this is how you're going to step into your actual power. There's a need to literally nurture the ideas that you have. If you have the idea to go out and go spread your energy in a public place, do that. If you have the idea to go buy a corner store and host small classes, do that. If you feel called to take pottery classes, start looking up things for that. Do what you feel called to do. This is what the divine really wants you to be aware of and start moving forward with, because this energy that you're in is not beneficial to you needing to move forward. We have strength reverse in the Page of Swords, and it's again because you're not allowing this masculine energy to do what it needs to do. You're nurturing it too much, and then it takes a mind of its own. Oh, if you're gonna just keep nurturing me, then I'm gonna say everything's falling apart, and you're gonna go, yep, it is falling apart, and I'm gonna nurture that awful idea, because that's how the brain works. It has these deep matrices inside of it based off of past experiences, and once it catches on, this is how conscious your brain is your brain's literally faster than a supercomputer. Once your brain catches on to you going, oh, you're going to agree to all these good thoughts. So what if I put a bad thought in there? Are you going to agree with that? And if you do agree to it, it goes boom, marked. So you're going to agree to everything I say now. You become a slave to the physical realm, to the mental realm, which then makes everything not work out for you, right? So you need to use your discernment. You need to sit back and test your own thoughts. Like if you're having a bad thought, why are you having that bad thought? Break it down. When you're able to slow it down and bring it to a lower vibration and see it for how it is, instead of letting it be up here and so fast and speedy, when you're slowing down the receptors, then you're able to really break it down. And that's what the divine needs you to do, is the Page of Swords. Inspect your thoughts. Are those thoughts actually beneficial to you, or are they misconstruing something that could help you? Are you listening to advice, or are you listening to your own frame of network that isn't allowing you to digest things properly? Are you following through with which you know to be true, or are you falling under a form of fear? This could even be a lack of sleep. You might need to sleep more, nightmares, things of that nature. Looking into them and seeing like what's going on. Why am I having these nightmares? Well, what's your nightmare about? Nightmares only happen due to fear, because they extrude that type of fear. So what was that nightmare of? Oh, I was being chased. You're afraid of people being around you. You're afraid of catching a following. You're afraid of being harassed by people. You're afraid of the past coming back to haunt you. Why are you afraid of the past coming back to haunt you if you're living in the present? You shouldn't have the past in the present. The past can't be in the present. The past is in the past. Only you can go back to the past and then bring it to your present moment. Same thing for the future, right? Whichever you manifest, people want to go, oh, I'm manifesting beautiful things in my life. Sometimes you can manifest shit into your life too. Sometimes you can manifest past events to happen in your life. Sometimes you can manifest things to fall down and break apart as well, because you're not actually doing what you need to do. So understand that heavily. Heavily. Yeah, and the Four of Swords is taking control, balancing things out, really allowing yourself to see, taking your thoughts back to square one. You know, what do I actually need to do? Gain your reposition yourself. You know what I mean? Really be like, okay, so if I'm having these thoughts of fear, where are they coming from? Oh, they're coming from the past, or they're coming from this blank waiting period where I haven't got a response back or something. Why is that fear there? Because you're afraid that something isn't working out due to a response on the physical not happening. Why are you focused so much on that? Because I'm wanting it to happen. If you're wanting it to happen, then tell yourself it is done, because I've done everything I need to do that thing. Now let this cook. Let me allow it to cook in the oven. Let the divine cook it for you. You already placed your order. They're taking care of it. Do something else. Take care, do something else, worry about yourself, nurture yourself, go do art, have fun, do something else while you're waiting for that to come in. Don't sit around and wait for it. Don't sit around and wait for it to happen and then go do your next step. That's why you're steps behind. It's an ungratified thing. 10 of Cups reverse. And the 4 of Cups, this is what you need to sit back and really think about, because this is what's fighting you. This is what's causing all sorts of conflict inside of you. This is the test that Saturn's trying to show you, is what can you draw up? And right now, that's what you need to do, is draw up information, because you're not drawing anything up. You're sitting there wondering, why aren't things working? Whenever you need to draw things up and reconnect to why you're doing it. Reconnect to the why. That might be your main issues. Like, you keep forgetting why you're doing something. It's like, oh, I need to do all these things, but I'm scared. Why? Well, here's the thing. Before you even remember that you're scared, before you even put that energy on yourself, before you curse yourself in that type of way, remember why you're doing it in the first place. Oh, because I'm tired of XYZ, because I want a new start, because I want a new life, because I want to be free. Well, why are you letting fear keep you in its shackles? You really have to ask yourself these questions. We're gonna get 2 Voice of the Soul cards. I'm not gonna read from the book. I'm just gonna intuit this one. We have love. What else do we have? Spirit. What else we got? We got love, and who else? Education and learning. Okay, we got 3. So you need, again, you need to love what you're doing. There's something about you needing to learn a new skill. This could even be you learning how to love yourself again. This could be you learning a new form of love. However, but you're needing to really delve deep. Love yourself enough to know who you are in your process about how you think. This is why so many people run on robot mode and don't know what to do within their life. This is why so many people are lost and confused and are wondering why things aren't working out, because you don't love yourself enough to figure out the actual traumas. You don't love yourself enough to face the truth, but you hate yourself enough to tell yourself a lie. Because why would you lie to someone? You won't lie to someone to help them. A lie doesn't help anyone. If you lie to someone, then guess what? Now it takes work to break down that lie, to tell the truth. You don't want to do that. Why do you think you hear readings all the time of people going, yeah, this person lied on you, and now they got to go tell everyone the truth and everyone hates them? That's the same thing that's happening to you internally. Now that you're telling the truth to yourself, now you're having a form of resistance toward yourself. Now your brain has this idea of, oh, since you lied to me and lying's bad, since you lied to me, now I have to have something to disagree with you with, and now you're going to beat yourself up with it. You are literally mirroring these people 24/7, because guess what? It's your energy too, unless you wouldn't be involved in it. And this is the tough truth. You have to know that. So understand that it's a process, of course, but the readings aren't just external. This is why this is the issue with this. So many people want to externalize it. The readings are also about you. Whenever the reader is doing a reading, it's about them. Some parts are, some parts aren't. Whenever you're in an energy reading and it's about someone who did some, I'm not even going to say the term. I don't even want to say that term. I'm not even going to say it. But it's about a reading about someone that did you wrong. Guess what? You've also done yourself wrong in the past too. And you can't sit there and be like, yeah, I know, but look what they did. Yeah, but look what you did too. Don't say but. Once you say but, I'm not interested. Because when you say but, now you're making an excuse. Now you're trying to ignore the truth. Now you're trying to make an excuse for something that's already been debunked by saying but. An opinion you can have, but in the realm of a fact, we're not looking for an opinion. We're looking for the fact of the matter. We're looking for the definitions. We're looking for why you're titling it certain things. This is the new WAPU, right knowledge. The right way of living. It's the truth. It's going to make you free, because you're going to have a reason to look at things and be like, you know what? This isn't right, actually. So I'm not going to do it anymore because it's not truthful. This is the influence you have over your life, though. This is what you are doing. This is what you're creating around you day by day, and you have to be aware of it. Because if you're not aware of it and other people are aware of it, then they can take control of you, which is why governments and commercials and all sorts of things have so much of a control on people, because they're literally so not awake. They're brain dead, and they're just following orders from other people. And it's like, well, if they're buying all these products, I need to buy this product too. Or if everyone's doing this thing, I need to do it too. No, you don't. You need to go your own way. Know that you're protected. And I'm telling you, this is something that you need to transmute. This is some energy that you need to transmute. This is something inside of you when it comes down to your passions. This is the truth about the fire inside of you, your passions. what you're desiring to do. This is the truth of it. It's all you. It's no one else. And if you want to project it onto someone else, that's your fault. That's on you, because we don't deal with projections. If you're going to project it onto someone else, you need to take responsibility for that. Why are you projecting it on someone else? Because you can't yet accept it for yourself. Because you still want someone else to accept it before you can. Oh, I'm tired of being the bigger person. Then you're not the bigger person. You have never been the bigger person if you're tired of being it. It's not tiring being a bigger person. It's not tiring knowing the truth and walking away. That's not tiring. What's tiring is the fact that you're in so much conflict with yourself that you can't actually accept the things that are coming towards you, and you want to cling on to some sort of facade to keep things going on longer and longer than it should. That's the struggle. That's why you're exhausted, because your energy is not going towards things that are actually beneficial to you. This is the healing process that a lot of people ignore, and a lot of people need to start paying attention to. So know this, especially if you are someone that likes the title of being a healer. Look at things as a healer would. Look at things as the actual process of how things are going. Don't just blanket term things. You don't like it when a doctor blanket terms things, so why would you blanket term your own life? This is the issue. So many people, and it is another thing, is so many people aren't healed as well, to where they can't accept direct conversation or direct, down padded, it's no other way than this. People want to say, oh, that's narcissistic, which again is completely bullshit. I don't know why they're using that term there, because that's not even a term that needs to be put there in the first place, by definition, not by opinion. We don't care about opinions, right? The world is full of opinions, and look how fucking messed up the world is. We need truth, not opinions. That's just a fact of it. You can stay in the opinionated world and be a part of that mess, but I'd rather not be a part of it. I'm tired of it. Now I'm changing it, right? But this is what you need to do. Focus on your emotions. Focus. This is what your guides are wanting you to do. They're guiding you to relief. Your guides want you to know there's relief, but you need to focus on your emotions. You need to ground yourself. Nature spirits. Going out in nature, really seeing things for how they are. But this is your shift. This is a part of spiritual cleansing as well, believe it or not, because it cleanses out the toxicity within the cycles and the receptors inside of you. It cleanses that toxicity out, so you're actually able to move forward and do things that are more beneficial to you, rather than keeping you held back within past cycles. But we're going to get the angel cards out now. See what the angel